Chair recognizes the gentleman from California.
Mr. Chairman, my amendment would prohibit funding the use of force pursuant to the Authorization for Use of Military Force, or AUMF, effective on December 31st, 2014, when the last American combat troops will rotate out of Afghanistan and the responsibility for security will have passed to the Afghan people after more than 13 years of war in that country. New Year's Day 2015 should not only bring about a new relationship between the United States and Afghanistan, it should also mark the end of a conflict that was begun in our skies on that September morning and which was formalized days later when the Congress passed the AUMF. That legislation provided the President with the authority to use, quote, force against those nations, organizations, or persons he determines planned, authorized, committed to terrorist attacks that occurred on September 11, 2001, or harbored such organizations or persons in order to prevent any future acts of international terrorism against the United States by such nations, organizations, or persons. The 2001 AUMF was never intended to authorize a war without end, and it now poorly defines those who pose a threat to our country. That authority and the funding that goes along with it should expire concurrent with the end of our combat role in Afghanistan. In addition to this amendment, I've introduced bipartisan legislation, H.R. 2324, which sunsets the AUMF effective the same date, December 31st, 2014, and calls on the administration to work with Congress together to determine what new authority, if any, is necessary to protect the country after that time. The Constitution invests the Congress with the power to declare war and the responsibility of appropriating funds to pay for it. It is our most awesome responsibility and central to our military efforts overseas. We owe it to the men and women we send into combat to properly define and authorize their mission, and my amendment will effectively give Congress the next 16 months to do so. In his recent speech at National Defense University, President Obama specifically called on Congress to work with him. Quote, I look forward to engaging Congress and the American people in efforts to refine and ultimately repeal the AUMF's mandate, the President said. And I will not sign any laws designed to expand this mandate further. Our systematic effort to dismantle terrorist organizations must continue, but this war, like all wars, must end. This amendment is a prudent first step towards meeting the President's challenge, a call that we must embrace not as Republicans or Democrats, but as members of Congress sworn to defend the Constitution. I urge a yes vote and reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from California reserves.